Welcome everyone to Good Night and Good Game, your source for geek news for the weeks that were. I'm your host James, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host Hector.
Hello.
And our fantastic producer John.
It's me.
This week on the show, it is time to roll credits on 2025 and talk about some of the things that we loved over the course of the year. It's been a hard year for a lot of reasons. A lot of bad things have happened, but in our end of the show recap, we're here to talk about things that we loved, things that were fun. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. But before we start, don't forget that you can head over to Goodnight.gg, where as a patron of our show, you can suggest topics for us to talk about. Also, as a patron, you get access to our off-week episodes. We're in our Tales from the Crypt series watch over there, and everybody seems to be having a good time. Now, if you like what we do here, please leave a comment or a like, as it helps our little show out. And please share us with anybody that you think would like us. We're trying to grow our audience in 2026, something I have been very bad about. And so any help that you can give us would mean a lot.
Also, we're going to get on Substack, right?
We have a list for 2026.
Yay.
Let's do that. Hell yeah.
All right, with all that out of the way, it is time to say goodbye to 2025.
Bow, bow. Or should we be celebrating? I think that's happy music right now.
No,
Okay.
let's be happy that we're leaving 2025. We have had, and I know this is supposed to be an episode about the good stuff, but just we live in the United States for any international listeners. It has been a rough fucking year full of the most bullshit politics that we've literally ever seen. Just clown baby time bullshit, wall to wall, every day. People who aren't even trying to do their jobs lying to our faces about it. It happened last night. There was a presidential address, and everyone expected the president to declare war, and instead he bitched about how nothing that's bad is his fault, and that how the things that we think are bad are good, actually. It was truly silly.
And unlike Japan, when they experience their slow growth, when we go into slow growth, we are not a nation of savers.
Oh.
And we are not a nation that has like
We're not set up to.
Yeah, and we're not a nation of a lot of equality.
No.
And so like Japan weathered that storm because they had savings and most people were on a similar level.
Yeah.
That's not what's going to happen here.
No.
That's
So
No,
There's a reason why "Oh Lord" by Foxy Shazam was like my top fucking Spotify listen this year.
Yeah.
That song fucking relates, and it hits a little too hard. But
Rough fucking years.
this is going to be a super fun and chill episode.
Yes,
now that
it
we got
is.
that out. So we're going to talk about what we've been doing over the year. Maybe you will even find a good game or movie recommendation somewhere in here.
I hope you do. We have a lot for you.
Hector, why don't we pick from your list first?
All right. So we can start with movies or games.
Whatever you want.
Just to kick off this very last bit here, I'm going to start with two very similar properties, a movie and a game.
All right, let's do it.
And these are going to blow your mind.
Okay.
All right, are y'all ready?
My mind is about to be blown.
Okay, so at the beginning of the year, right around February, I played the game 1,000 Times Resist. 1,000 Times Resist was a wonderful kind of a moving novel of a game where you do control a character and you do things, but they can very generously be described as gameplay. It is mostly you discovering a story through the interactions of your character with other characters as you move along a timeline and try and uncover the secrets of the world you live in, because they're fully known to the character you inhabit. They are not known to you. So you are in this world and learning about things like, how did our society come to be? Why are we all like this? What does this say? What are all of these sayings that we have? And you find systems of inequality and oppression and planned communities that were never planned to be equal. And the downright like obsolescence of humanity and like the murder of parts of society that we don't deem worthy because they don't really fit into the mold, and characters fighting against that and coming to realize who they are and what makes them unique and how they're stronger together to fight the system that they're in, which is designed to keep them down. And man, what an incredible game. I cannot recommend it enough. I can't go play this game if you haven't played it.
One more time.
1,000 Times Resist.
Oh,
1,000
yes, that's actually
Resist.
on my
1000X Resist.
on my proverbial list.
Yeah, and it's very, very, very good. And it flows directly into a movie that I saw actually very, very recently. I saw it on Tuesday. It has the exact same themes, and it is for children. It's called Zootopia 2.
That
Zootopia
you went from
2.
a dystopian game to Zootopia?
Zootopia 2 is a movie about a generally thought of as utopian, working, thriving society that was built on that was built on a stolen idea, based on an entire species of animal that is deemed evil. And it's not allowed into Zootopia. And even though they invented the idea and uncovering this mystery, bringing the family that basically left them out of society to justice, and learning what their motivations were and what everyone is like. I swear to God, this is the exact same plot to both of these things.
That's so weird, man.
While one is a Disney movie and the other one is a very dark, fucked up video game, it seems like we're all having the same idea here in 2025.
Hold on. I have not seen Zootopia 2, but I saw the first one. Do they address how some of these creatures were originally naturally more violent than others?
Oh, yeah, no, that was kind of a theme in the first one as well.
Yeah.
We don't prey on other people who live in Zootopia. We have food services. We're not eating each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, it is strange that this bunny and this fox are on the police force. That is usually saved for buffalo and warthogs and lions and hippopotami.
There's animal racism in Zootopia?
Everyone is very surprised in the first movie that there's a bunny trying to be a police officer.
Okay.
And she has to spend the movie proving that she is worthy to be there by trying to chase down a small-time criminal who happens to be a very nice guy who is a fox.
Sorry, I'm watching the trailer right now, and I gotta just, if anybody out there edits trailers, please don't do the black flashy thing. That is so goddamn fucking 2015. Like, get over it. Okay, it's over.
So 1,000 Times Resist and Zootopia, two completely disparate, a video game and a movie.
Mm-hmm.
The themes just run strong.
Yeah. The core of the story are there, and they're together, and they're trying to tell you the same thing. To fight the system that you live in. Sometimes the only way to do the right thing is through an act of violence or piracy. Straight up, just fight the fucking power.
All right. John, you got something for me?
I got a whole lot of stuff, but anything?
Just pick something.
Yeah,
All right,
give us one that you liked.
I'm gonna
Something you like this year.
tell you what. How about you guys pick? Well,
God.
here's my Steam list, and here's like the top ones.
Okay, so you know what I'll do is just looking at the top of your Steam list here. For those of you who are not watching this live, John, I know that you worked really hard on the Borderlands series this year. How did that series pan out for you?
You know what? I enjoyed it. Obviously, it has quickly risen to one of my favorite games of all time, and to me, it's weird to think about it as like, Borderlands 2 versus Borderlands 3, because in my mind, they kind of run together. And especially since I'm a late adopter, like all the jokes on Borderlands 3 were the exact same level of cringe as Borderlands 2. So I thought they were the same. And everybody's like, oh no, Borderlands 2 was far superior. I'm like, when's the last time you played it?
No, then that's the problem. We all played it when it came out, when those jokes were relevant.
Right.
Yeah. And so to me, I'm like, no, they're both equally funny and cringe. And I love them both. And weirdly, I would say that Borderlands 3 is the superior experience because there's so many more
quality of life
improvements.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, completely.
That being said, some of the moments in Borderlands 2 still live rent-free in my mind. And so I think it was the better experience. I have much more love in my heart for that game.
Yeah. Borderlands 2 gave me epic tears, for sure. Where 3 never did.
Yeah, I just don't think I've ever finished a Borderlands game before.
You've never finished any of them?
No, I would hop on and play with friends for a few minutes here and there, but I've never finished one.
Wow. I will say I don't like, and it's one of those things you can't really have a Borderlands without, I don't want to say gambling mechanics because I never paid a dime, but the slot machine,
Oh,
the
the
like
random
finding
loot.
random
Yeah.
loot. Like you can't have a Borderlands game without that. But at the same time, especially Borderlands 3, just dropping millions of things everywhere all the time.
I will clarify real quick so that I'm just not a lying liar who lies. I have completed one Borderlands game,
Oh.
Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh yeah, and that was great.
And that is not a
No.
That is a
typical
Telltale
Borderlands.
game that is
Yeah.
not a
Yes.
Borderlands game, but
It's,
set in the Borderlands
I think
universe,
Hector
and it's
calls
very
those
good.
movies. Isn't that right? Isn't that-
No, John, no. I will. Don't make me reach across this table.
But,
Okay.
Yeah.
So on my side of things, before we get rolling on my first pick for what I did in 2025, I want to say thank you to everybody that's in the room with me right now.
You're welcome.
This year,
Oh yeah,
we hit episode 500.
yeah, we did.
And that's a big fucking deal. In terms of podcasting and us having no audience, we've done 500 episodes of this show. Please tell your friends about our show. But I could not have done that without y'all. I said earlier in the year when we did hit that milestone that I was really close to wanting to close the show down finally. And with, of course, Hector always carrying me on his shoulder where he can, and John being just a fantastic producer.
And me telling you this show is worth it, and we deserve more of an audience, which we're
Agreed.
going to get this year.
Yeah,
So with John's encouragement, here we are, and I'm here with a smile on my face. All right, so I'm going to talk about my first pick for things I want to talk about in 2025. And I'm going to tell you right now, I thought this was going to be my game of the year, and I played it in January. And that is Citizen Sleeper 2.
ooh, yeah.
So I played the first Citizen Sleeper a few years back. And if you're unfamiliar with the Citizen Sleeper games, they're very simple. They're pseudo-visual novels, except there's a dice mechanic that exists within it. And the stories are always very simple. You're a sleeper, which is typically like a robot clone of somebody that's like sent to do work in space. That's a very boiled down version of it. And you tend to be what they call an awakened sleeper, somebody who doesn't know about their past. The past never matters. The point is, what does it mean to be human? And you're typically on a space station you're on a single space station in the very first one. And there's tons of endings, and who you talk to and who you work with gives you all these different endings. And you can, run from bounty hunters and become friends with the local barman. And the first one is fantastic. Citizen Sleeper 2 not only does everything that the first one does right, but like a good sequel makes it 100 times better. In Citizen Sleeper 2, they give you this entire chunk of the galaxy where you're on the run. If anybody here is familiar with Battlestar Galactica and how you're always on the run from the Cylons, in Citizen Sleeper 2, you're on the run every minute of this game. And you feel the nervousness and the excitement of it, even though it is a visual novel game where you get dice. And the way that the dice work is it's not like a typical dice game where I go to fix this welding problem, roll a dice. It's not how that works in Citizen Sleeper. In Citizen Sleeper, every night that you go to bed and wake up, you get your 1 to 5 dice pool, depending on some certain factors, of pre-rolled dice. Now, a 6 means you will always succeed at the thing. A 1 is low chance of success, but you can still pull it off. And there are factors that go into these dice on the back end, like, did you get enough sleep? Have you eaten recently? There's tons of things. And all of these dice rolls, by the way, they go towards everything that you do. So if I wanted to say, run a character who is physical based, which is what I did for Citizen Sleeper 2, and I wish I hadn't, and I want to go fix and repair a ship so I can get some extra money so that we can buy some fuel so we can take off so that the people who are chasing us can get away from us for a little bit longer. It's a whole series of things. I have to choose between the 1 dice roll or the 6 dice roll that I have. But that also means later that same day when I go to have a conversation with somebody at the bar and I need to procure information, if I've already used my 6 die roll that I got of the day, it's going to be tough. It's almost like dice rolls within dice rolls, and every decision in Citizen Sleeper matters. And in the way that people talk about Disco Elysium, how fail states are okay, That is how it works in Citizen Sleeper. Sometimes you won't be able to do the thing that you want to do, but the game never penalizes you for your failure in such a way that you feel like, oh, my game is about to be over. I beat Citizen Sleeper 2 in my first run, and never for a second did I think I was going to. When I finally got to my ending, I breathed a fucking sigh of relief. There's a couple points in the game, this is just the mildest of spoilers, where the game does give you a minute to breathe, and you can have a few days to just do what the fuck ever you want. The game basically tells you, they don't know where you are right now. Feel free to do what you want. And you can spend that time with other people. You can spend that time making money. You can spend that time exploring the cosmos that's available to you. And at the end of the day, the thing that comes off across the most about Citizen Sleeper is, and it's the same thing with the first one, it is a game fundamentally about what it means to be human. And it's a beautiful game. There's a reason why the soundtrack for Citizen Sleeper 2 was on my Spotify top 5, because I listened to that for months. And I highly encourage you, if you're curious, try the first one. But I will tell you, the second one blows it the fuck away.
So, James, what does it mean to be human?
It depends on what your playthrough tells you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, just depends on that. Hector, what do you got for me?
All right. So let's start with another early in the year game that I put way too much time into because I knew I was going to. I was always going to. And if you were listening to us at the beginning of the year, you heard me talk about it. Monster Hunter Wilds. We got a new Monster Hunter this year.
Yeah, we did. Monster Hunter.
We got a new Monster Hunter, and it was
broken.
Just an awful fucking PC version that is still not fixed and will likely not be fixed until about February or March of next year, as far as the PC version goes, when they start getting ready to release the very first big expansion. That being said, I enjoyed all of the 100+ hours I put into it because it was amazing.
It was so good. I watched the Monster Hunter movie.
Yeah, everything was there. The build craft was all there. The cool monsters were all there.
Yep.
What was some of the jank you guys experienced?
It's the PC version of that game is just the drop frames.
Yeah, it's poorly optimized. It drops frames. It doesn't stream textures correctly.
Yep.
So whenever you look at stuff, some textures just straight up will not load in.
Yep.
And this goes from everything from like the clothes you're wearing to the rocks behind you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it just doesn't look good. There's a reason they take all their footage from the PlayStation version. And I can tell you why this happened. Every time someone makes a big Monster Hunter game, they make it for consoles first, and then they release a PC version like a year later. But with Monster Hunter World, they realized that most of their audience was, that a huge chunk of their audience, the audience that stayed, was on PC. So they decided to release everything at the same time this year. However, it's a lot harder to program for the PC than it is for a console. And instead of pushing back the dates, they released a broken-ass console version. And I mean really broken.
Mm-hmm.
Too much, so broken that when Digital Foundry did their review of the game, they said, I will not review this. This is unfinished, and it is broken to the point where I consider it a beta stage. And when they fix it, I'll do an actual review on how good the tech is. That's how bad it was. That being said, still an incredible game.
We played
managed
so
to
much.
play through I killed every monster, did everything, got all the fun new stuff, while it was going,
So nothing
and then took a big break.
game-breaking.
I mean,
No.
the game was broken, but like not broken.
So when you say game breaking, like, yes, the game was very broken, but there was nothing that was going to like erase your save.
Okay.
There was nothing that was going to keep you from progressing. It just looked and ran like shit, which is not acceptable because it's not acceptable in a movie to release like your second edit. And then,
you
like,
say that.
you'll release your fifth edit later.
So this is the second Monster Hunter game that you and I played together, Hector.
Yes.
And I realized something, and I'm going to throw it out there. I'm putting it into the podcast right now so that it exists in the ether. The problem that I have every time that I play a Monster Hunter game is I have to only make one of my cats. I'm now making it your responsibility that in the next Monster Hunter game
I
we
make the
play,
other cat.
you make the other cat.
That'll do it. Yeah. I mean, I'm already... So look, so for the expansion, they're planning like 16 hunter raids. Right?
That's
And
cool.
Yeah. What's cool about that is I'm a 2-horn hunter.
That is true. You do have 2 horns.
I got 2 horns. So this year, in case anyone doesn't know, my character's name was Wham, and I played the saxophone. That was me. And yeah, I had, I was all hunting horn all the time unless someone needed something else. And then I was the hammer bro because also Wham. So yeah, that was what I did. I had the most fun I've had with a Monster Hunter game ever. And man, it was great to be out there having a good time with the bros again. I can't wait to get back into it when the expansion comes out and the game doesn't run and look like ass. Yeah, Monster Hunter Wild was a really good part of my year.
Yeah. John, you said that you played a little bit of Halo this year. Can you tell me about that?
I did play a little bit of Halo. Apparently a lot of Halo. I cleared Halo 1 through 4.
Is that your first time?
No, I had played the original Halo like a dozen times in college. And in fact, I said this before on the show, but to this day, I'm still a little bit annoyed at how insistent we were in college to play on Legendary.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Like I'm not even kidding, we spent 4 hours with 4 guys trying to get trying to get to the first checkpoint in Halo 2 on Legendary, which you eventually realize is impossible because if any of you dies in Halo 2 on Legendary,
yeah, it's over.
You all have to start over. And so anyway, this time I played everything normal, and it was so much goddamn fun. Halo 3, I think, was a little bit of a low point because it was just kind of a redundant Halo 2. Halo 4, I know why I understand now why people hate it. I played it, and I thought, oh, this is kind of what Halo should have always been.
Sure.
It's an arcade version of a first-person shooter.
Okay.
Because Halo's never been like, what some high-end first-person shooters prefer playing. It's the arcade version. It's the dumb version of first-person shooters. And that is exactly what Halo 4 was. I swear to God, there were some times where you're like doing like... one of the Warthog missions, and they line up bad guys Mario Kart style for you to run over in a pattern in a row. And I was just like, oh, this is great. This is exactly what Halo deserves to be.
You can practically hear the coins going up, ding, 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 like as you hit them.
I love that.
So it was fun, but I understand why why people don't like it. And no, it lacks the gravitas that I felt when I first played Halo 1 and Halo 2, but after playing Halo 3 and realizing, oh, they're never going to get to those highs again, I thought, oh, Halo 4, that's perfect. That's where you belong now.
All right. So this year for me was the year of, so every year I pick a category of the style of game that I want to play. And I'm actually going to put up a poll somewhere online here soon about what my next category should be that y'all can vote on. This year, it was the year of indies. And what that means when I say talk about a category of game, I mean, when James is sitting down and can't figure out what game to play, he will look to that category as the thing to play. So I want to cover just in rapid fire a couple of games that are like old enough that I don't need to spend too much time on them. I played What Remains of Edith Finch, what can be considered a walking simulator. It is a very sad story.
I fucking love that game.
That game fucking nearly had me in tears, and I played it at work. I happened to be playing it on my lunch breaks, and it's a game much like Gone Home, where it presents itself as if it is a horror story. It's not. It's just fucking sad.
It's just a mystery.
It is just what these people's lives were like, and God, holy shit. Yeah, and it is a 2 to 3 hour max play game.
Yeah.
It is a short form. And by the way, it is from the people who made The Unfinished Swan, which is another old game I played years ago. Also made me fucking cry. If you've never played The Unfinished Swan, so good. The next up that was on that same train of older indie games was Tacoma.
Oh,
and that was a Hector recommendation.
Fuck yeah, Tacoma. That is from the people who actually made Gone Home.
And Tacoma is, from the people who made Gone Home. It is the story of you going to a space station and you just walk around and watch hologram projections of what happened on the station.
Right. Specifically, you fly to a space station that has broken down. You are not free to walk around, but because there's no air, there's no nothing. That's why, like, you're in your spacesuit. There are no survival mechanics to this game. You're just basically floating from room to room, trying to figure out what happened at this space station. And you get it all through audio logs and through visual recordings of what happened in certain rooms on certain days, and talking to the AI that's left on the space station that saw and recorded and participated in everything that happened.
Yeah. And it's beautiful and it's haunting, and fuck you to that ending.
Oh, so beautiful.
And yeah, it's just a whole thing. Another quick indie I just want to mention was I played Pony Island.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're hearing those words for the very first time, you're going to go, James, what the fuck?
Yeah, what's a Pony Island?
So Pony Island is brought to you by the person who brought me Inscription, which is my very first Daniel Mullins game was Inscription. If you know anything about Daniel Mullins, you know that he makes I hate to use this word, but he makes subversive video games. Mm-hmm. He makes games that aren't games that are games.
Don't toy with my expectations, bro.
No, that's all he's doing the whole time.
The whole time. Because if I was to describe, you said, well, what's the gameplay like in Pony Island? I'd go, well, you play a pony and he jumps over hurdles. And then you would go, well, that sounds dumb. I'm like, yeah, but it's also about Satan and other stuff. And it's a dark game. And the reason I played that is because I did play Inscription, and I had heard that they're going to be doing a Pony Island 2.
Oh, yeah.
And the challenge this is a game that I was streaming in my Discord, and they were going. People who were watching were just like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, the pony jumping part is the easy part. The puzzles are puzzles, and fuck that shit." So I'm not taking up all the time. The last two that I want to talk about are, if you know anything about me, I love religious horror.
Oh, yeah.
And I played these two games back to back. The first one was a Hector recommendation called Forgive Me, Father. Mm-hmm. Forgive Me, Father is what they call a boomer shooter.
Yeah, it is.
That is a game that is made in the style of an old Doom engine. Whole lot of shooting forward, not a whole lot of shooting up and down. It is a Lovecraftian horror game. You can play one of two characters. One is a reporter, one is a priest. I played the priest, and it's about going to a town and seeing how the town has been corrupted by the evil around it. Forgive Me, Father doesn't have a lot of choices, but it does make you question your character's sanity while you play it. Also, a big point to this game I just want to mention, I am somebody who has run Cthulhu games. I have run large-scale Cthulhu LARPs my entire life, and I've played a lot of Cthulhu-based video games. And in almost every single one of them, madness is a mechanic that is detrimental to your character. There are only two games I can think of where madness is a positive thing, and that is Bloodborne and Forgive Me, Father. Mm-hmm. The crazier you go, the more powerful you become in Forgive Me, Father.
Well, I think Borderlands has a berserker.
Well, that is true. And the last one, to pair it off before I hand it off one more time, I just want to mention Faith.
Oh, yeah.
And I played this immediately after Forgive Me, Father. I streamed this entire trilogy in my Discord. If you're unfamiliar with Faith, Faith is a game that takes place in a 4-bit Atari style that they use, what's the art called?
Rotoscope. Yeah.
Rotoscope for all the horror scenes where you play one of two priests, a young priest and an old priest. And I've seen like runs of this game, and I've seen art of this game. And I legitimately, as somebody who watches a lot of horror, was like, there's no way this is that fucking scary. And then I got like super wine drunk, streamed it in my Discord, and God help me, this game is scary if you let it be scary to you. Mm-hmm. And not all the scariness is from a ghost. Like, some of it is the horror of humans. And I'm watching a friend of mine. She's playing it on her stream right now. And I'm not saying anything. I will say this game is so vast that I'm watching somebody else play it right now and have a completely separate experience that I did. Different monsters, different scenarios, different, like, who lives and who dies. There's a reason this game took as long as it did to make. And my God, I will say this, it is a work of art.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was just a handful of what I did as far as indie games this year. Hector, talk for a minute.
Well, I'd like to have a tiny conversation before I mention my next couple of movies.
Absolutely.
About what an indie game is now.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, sure.
we have had, you recently shared with me a video that was the thumbnail basically said we were right, and it is about exactly how we left last year with Larian Studios winning the Game of the Year for Baldur's Gate 3.
Yep.
And saying like the next game of the year will be an indie game. It won't be by a company who sells their games for profit. It won't be by a company that is publicly traded. It will be by a team of less than 200 people.
Yep.
It will not have the best graphics in the industry that year. It will not have the biggest open world in the industry that year. It will be something that a small team really loved and wanted to make and poured their heart and soul into. And by God, he was right. And we'll get to that when we start to talk about Claire Obscure, but we're not quite there yet. Because when I talk about indie games, you need to remember that Baldur's Gate 3 is made by Larian Studios, and that's an independent studio. That game cost $100 million to make, and it made that money back over and over and over.
It was backed by Wizards of the Coast.
Right, but it did not have a publisher.
That is true.
And that is literally the only thing that indie game used to mean.
Yep.
Whereas now we had Nine Souls and Blasphemous 2 and, the fishing game, like a bunch of fishing games, and they were either published by Devolver Digital or a Chinese company or whatever. These smaller games tend to have publishers these days.
Right.
But we got a game from Team Cherry, a game from Supergiant Games, and last year we got a game from Larian Studios, all breaking hundreds of millions of dollars in sales.
Sure.
All independent studios.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean the small games anymore. It just means the ones that publish on their own.
Yep.
And it's interesting to think about games that way these days because Pony Island and Inscription were published by Devolver.
Yep.
I would, in my brain, immediately categorize those as indie games.
Yep.
Because the developers, they don't have a dime to their name, and they're making stuff that isn't AAA. But AAA is almost a pejorative at this point when it comes to video games. I mean, I'm
almost tired of hearing the fucking term.
I played one AAA game this year, and that was Ghost of Yotei, and I picked it very, very selectively because I knew I was going to fucking love it, and I did. But everything else was either a game that I played from forever ago and rebooted, or I just didn't touch a lot of AAA games this year. Right. I guess you could really absolutely, now that I think about it too, because you could absolutely categorize Monster Hunter Wilds as a AAA game.
Sure.
That being said,
Capcom is a AAA studio.
Yeah, it is. But that being said, that's 2 out of 38 games I played this year. Everything else on my list are games that I would consider independent, if not at least AA.
Right.
So the indie space is in a very interesting place right now because what we're actually seeing, if you disregard AAA, AA, independent as some kind of tier of technological achievement and really look at them for what they are, the games that I'm playing the least right now are the games that cost the most money to make and the games that we're trying to offer the most to the most amount of people. And the games that I enjoyed the most this year were ones that were very finely tuned for something that I was seeking out specifically, that definitely didn't cost the most money, that didn't have the best graphics, that were made by smaller teams who were, I hope with all my heart, treated the best.
Right.
And that's definitely true with Team Cherry and with Supergiant Games.
Yep.
So 2 of my favorite games of the year, Hades 2 and Hollow Knight Silksong. So, I mean, yeah, like we're in a very interesting time when it comes to video games because much unlike the movie industry, which tends to drown things like this, they're at the very least relegated to stuff like the Oscars and things that people don't really see. This is the stuff that rises to the top of the Steam charts and the top of Steam sales and the top of the Steam store in a world where Steam is the only place you can buy PC games without being laughed at, basically. And And I don't know, man. It makes me feel good and also a little scared for the entire industry as a whole. It feels like it's moving in the right direction. And now I'm going to talk about another thing that made me very happy this year. And like my last thing, I've got two.
Okay.
So I'll go through these pretty quickly because I just talked for a bit. We had two very, very good movies this year that were very, very different in every possible way. But we got a lot of movies like this year, and the theme was the bad guy is capitalism.
Yep.
The bad guy is capitalism. And the first one, and everyone will say, yep, yeah, absolutely, obviously, is Mickey 17.
Oh,
man, what a fucking great movie. Bong Joon-ho came roaring fucking back, came in with fucking Pattinson, just Robert Pattinson coming in here with his weird accent and his comedic timing that is very, very different from him being Batman, and just making such an incredibly fun and funny and often stupid and often poignant and profound and beautiful and often weird fucking movie. I don't think I laughed this hard in the theater all year long.
It's true.
I've noticed this about myself lately. It's really hard to make me laugh these days inside of media. If I'm expecting laughs, I don't laugh very much. If I'm not expecting laughs, sometimes I do. But it's usually situational. It's not about someone telling me a joke.
Loud in a theater, I instantly move it up a star.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Stuff like Everywhere, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Mickey 17 absolutely belongs in that category of movies where you're like, I cried laughing at several points during this movie, and it's not a comedy.
Yeah.
And you have a movie with themes like, are any of us actually treated as humans by the organizations we work for or the governments that we subscribe to or live under? And what happens if someone suddenly does start treating us like human? Are they subversive now? Et cetera, et cetera. Capitalism's the bad guy. Mickey 17 is the good one. And we're all just living in Bong Joon-ho's world right now because between Parasite and this, I mean, I can't wait to see what he does next.
That's right around the corner.
Mickey 17. So the second movie that came out less than a month after this, also capitalism's the bad guy, but in a very, very different way because capitalism kind of seems like it's always the bad guy. Death of a Unicorn. Death of a Unicorn.
I thought you were going to say Alien Romulus.
No. Alien Romulus wasn't funny. Death of a Unicorn was funny. Death of a Unicorn, the movie starring two huge stars. You know, we have Wednesday herself, and we have Paul Rudd. And they are, you know, not exactly estranged, but a father and daughter without a great relationship, making an A24 movie about how they accidentally, on their way to visiting their very rich bosses, the father's very rich bosses, accidentally hit a unicorn out in the woods. And, like, they fucking killed it. And when they bring it home, it's alive again, and they kill it again. And the rich people are like, we should fucking snort its horn or something.
Yeah.
Because we're billionaires and nothing matters. And let's do some weird shit with it. And suddenly it turns out when you fuck with unicorn blood and horns and skin and whatever, it gives you fucking superpowers and shit. And it heals all your afflictions. And all they want to do is sell it. All they want to do is buy it, sell it, commodify it, or keep it for themselves. And yeah, capitalism's the bad guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, here we are. What a fun fucking movie. If you're the type of person who only sees like a handful or a dozen movies a year, put this one on the short list because it's totally worth your time and it was very easy for you to miss. The Death of a Unicorn.
I think most people did miss it.
Yeah, Death of a Unicorn was fucking awesome. You can probably stream it a few places, but watch this movie.
You can buy a unicorn horn lava lamp on, I think it's A24's website.
Nice.
And once you've seen the movie, you'll understand why that's amazing. John, do you have anything else for us?
This is one of those games that I honestly wish I could go back and play it again. But, you know, it's very linear. So once you've experienced it once, you've kind of gotten, you know, all the flavor out of it. But I loved it to death. I'm talking about Lost in Random.
Fuck yeah, Lost in Random.
And it's not only beautifully designed and you care about the characters, but like the gameplay mechanics are fun. You know, like I'm not a guy who's ever done RPGs. So the idea of rolling a die and then picking out what your next move or weapons are. Like that's all new to me. But this one made it very fun, and there were just so many great moments, great insightful moments where I think we again realized, Hector, that capitalism is the bad guy. And like all these systems that are unfair are in place just to, keep things moving and keep the profit coming. But yeah, it was a beautiful game, and I kind of regret that I'm never really going to be able to play it again.
Yeah, you just gotta sit and wait for the studio's next game, because if I remember correctly, they're still trucking along, doing good stuff.
Yeah, they have a beautiful game that is on my wish list. It's something like it's something about the fire, and it's all done in actual claymation.
Oh yeah, that actually won. I want to say it won for best VR game this year.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks beautiful, but so that's my next game of the year.
Okay. Let's see what else is on my list that I want to talk about here. I'll knock out a couple of them, more indies real quick. Not too much time on them. One of the first ones that I made a big deal of, and this is one that I was kind of obsessed with when I saw the very first trailer for it. I do not know if I can really recommend this game to most people. It's called The Last Faith. The Last Faith is a 2D Metroidvania Souls game, but it's really more like Bloodborne. It is a high difficulty. It is a very punishing game. It is a game that does not hold your hand. It is a game that as you go through the game gets easier as more abilities and things get unlocked. It kind of front loads its difficulty quite a bit, and that can be a big turnoff for a lot of people. It is also a very beautiful game. And the game's story is really this universe where like faith is dead except for like this one last religion, and really you're there to snuff it out in a way. It's beautiful, it's haunting, but I do not know if I can recommend it to everyone. I know you tried a little bit of it, Hector. And
I played it for a little bit while I was cat sitting for you, and it's fucking rough.
Yeah.
Like I had a rough first couple hours with that game, and I didn't go home and pick it back up or anything.
Yeah.
I was like, that was fun.
Yeah, but if look up the trailer for it, if it looks like it would be up your alley, it definitely is. Another game that I played this year, as far as indies go, I did try to dive into some stuff that I wouldn't normally do, which is like I don't really do a lot of visual novel kind of things, but I tried Slay the Princess this year. Slay the Princess, the award-winning fucking game, where the game starts off with you in a forest and a narrator telling you your job is to go into the cabin, go downstairs, and slay the princess. That's the game. And that's not the game. Jesus fucking Christ, that's not the game. It's not the game in way that the Doki Doki Literature Club is not a visual novel about you going and hanging out with pretty girls. It's a psychological horror game. There are things that happen in Slay the Princess, and it is a game you could probably do a 2 to 3 hour playthrough on. It's not very, very long. And every run that I did, because they only take 5 to 10 minutes for a run, felt like I was learning something, felt like I was experiencing something. Things change. You wonder the nature of the narrator. You wonder the nature of yourself. You wonder the nature of the princess. Why is there a knife sometimes? Why is there not a knife sometimes? Why is there a mirror in the room sometimes? The world is fundamentally the same but changes every single time. And there's a reason why it won the awards that it did. And I just want to encourage people, if this sounds weird enough to you, fucking go play it. Very, very easy recommendation. Last quick indie I want to talk about before I hand it off. I haven't finished it yet, but Hector got me into VA-11 Hall A.
Valhalla.
I know that's how it's said.
Yes,
but
yes. That is definitely how it is spelled.
And this is a
a
game.
cyberpunk bartending simulator.
Yeah, it's a cyberpunk bartending simulator. And the reason I haven't finished it is that I don't want to rush this game. Now, I will say, if you're interested in it, because the only mechanic really in the game is that you're mixing drinks for people,
Yep.
and you're listening to people talk. I have heard and I'm mad that I didn't do this myself. Valhalla takes place over the course of a week. And I read somewhere that if you look up the week that it takes place in, and you take that 5 to 7 days and you play that game one chapter every day, it is very, very satisfying. I've been spending my time with it if I've kind of had a down day. I used to be a bartender in a former life. And if I'm having a really down day and I can't think of anything to play and I go and make myself a drink, I will pick this game up and I will sit down with a single character and just bartend for them. And I find it very satisfying and a lot of fun. And that's the reason I haven't finished it yet, is it's kind of saved on my I've had a bad day list.
Oh, yeah. It's a perfect weekend, a week-long game if you play it an hour a day. Otherwise, it can be a good weekend game. It can be a great just vibes game, rainy Sunday afternoon, low energy, just like
The
chilling
lo-fi
out.
in it.
The
Question.
music in this game, the soundtrack of this game is god tier.
Yep.
It is, you put in your Spotify list and have it just ruin your algorithm good.
Well, question. What type of game is this? It's a lot like Papers, Please, you know.
I would
Quite a bit. Yeah, well,
so what are
Papers,
those
Please
games called?
Papers, Please had an urgency to it where you felt like for your own sake to earn enough money, you needed to wing people through.
Yep.
You needed to perform faster to provide for yourself while taking in the stories of the people around you and trying to process people correctly.
But I'm not crazy in thinking that these would be in a similar category of gameplay.
Not exactly, because they look the same and they play the same except for yourself. Because in this game, you are never rushed. You are never in a hurry. You are never worried about the outcome of you not getting tipped. You are just chilling, talking to people, making them drinks that you think they would like, and listening to their
this is
stories.
going to be a really weird comparison. And there's this anime that I watched one time years and years ago that nobody has ever seen. If you have, please let me know. But the anime is called Bartender. And it's a 6-episode series where there's this bar that is a magical bar that you can only get to if you want to go there. And every episode of the 6 episodes is a person sitting down in front of the bartender, and he says, "Tell me your story." And as they say their story, at the very end of it, he goes, "I have the perfect drink for you." And in the anime Bartender, every drink is a real drink. I know this because every episode ends teaching you how to make that drink. And so the idea of it is this kind of almost dreamlike version of the bartender that we all want to be, which is you sit down, you listen to somebody's story, and you make them a drink that would comfort them.
Yeah, you're a sage and an alchemist.
And in Valhalla, that's kind of what it is. You'll sit down and somebody will tell you about their day, and then they'll say, "I want a drink that is sweet and bubbly." Now, you have a predefined mixing guide that you look through, and you determine based on what they've told you what you think they would like.
Yeah, sweet or bubbly. Are they an android or a human? Can they drink certain things or not drink certain things?
Right.
But also, do they have more of a sweet palate or more of a bitter palate? Yeah. Like all of these things matter.
I understand the premise.
Yes.
But again, what I'm really asking is, I don't know if you guys know this, but I got a job for Steam last night, and if I don't categorize this correctly, they're going to kill me.
Well, I'm going to kill you for not giving us jobs.
Yeah.
So where do I put this fucking game?
Visual
What kind
novel.
of-
Unfortunately,
Visual
yeah,
novel.
it's a visual novel.
visual novel.
Otherwise, I would just call it an indie and be done with it.
It's a
because it's
visual
a type
novel.
of game you have to describe to people.
Yeah, it's a visual novel in the way that Citizen Sleeper is a visual novel.
Right.
There's a
There are
lot of
gameplay
reading.
elements, but mostly you're there to listen to people talk.
Would
Yep.
Papers, Please be called a visual novel?
It is close to.
Yes and no, because no character, you're more worried about yourself and the mechanics of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Papers, Please is kind of a political statement
Well, yeah,
more than
yeah.
anything else.
I know what it does. I know
So,
the
okay, to answer your
symptoms
question,
of it.
Yeah.
to answer your question, the point of Papers, Please is for you to look at a document and you as the player determine whether or not that document is valid and that person should be let through the border. That is a very simple, I look at a thing and I say a yes and no.
Yeah.
That's not how this works in Valhalla.
Yeah, everything else is a morality or an intuition pump,
I
right?
guess what I'm
in Papers, Please.
where I'm coming from it is as a complete outsider of these types of games. I look at them and like 100 others, and I'm like, oh, That's the one where you have the little person in the bubble talk to you, and you get to pick some stuff and, select your choice or your action.
In that sense, if you're boiling it down to that, then yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of games like that, and I've never played one before.
Yeah.
But every time I see them, I'm like, oh, that's where they have the character talkie, and you get to make some selections and decide. And sometimes it's timed, like Papers, Please. Sometimes there's no time. Sometimes it's about food. Sometimes it's about, political decisions. But that's basically what I see.
I could see that. But yeah, that's kind of Valhalla. And the last thing I want to touch on real quick, because I want to talk about some movies when we get back around. And I do not want to talk about this at length. All I'm going to say is there is a game, you can buy it for $1. It's called The Cabin Factory.
Buy that, play it.
It is a game in which you work for a company that produces haunted houses for things like movies, and your job is to go in there and make sure they are not actually haunted. Good luck.
Yep. Often they're haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a factory.
And if you need me to boil down the gameplay for you, the gameplay it's a memorization game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Question: how long did it take you to get through?
2 hours.
2
Yeah,
hours. Okay.
Straight
yeah,
up, it's a short
for
afternoon.
me, it's not about the $1 or $10. It's about how
It
much
is a
time?
rock
No, it
solid
is
2 hours that
short
will
afternoon.
fucking make you
Nice.
jump.
Yeah, no, it is spooky.
And your only job in that is for you to determine whether or not that place is haunted. Good fucking luck. All right, Hector, let's do something else. What do you got?
All right. So, let's see. Did I do movies last time? Yeah, I did. So I'm going to do games again.
Okay.
I'm going to go through my Souls likes for the year because there aren't that many. I'm going to start with one that we both played, Elden Ring Night Rain.
Oh, God.
Elden Ring Night Rain, because we
was
went through
fun.
Elden Ring last year and we
We
had a
did.
great time.
Yep.
And we got all the way through the DLC and we had fun. Elden Ring Night Rain was a 3-player co-op. Roguelite's not the right word, but it's the first word that comes to mind. More of a drop in, drop out, not an extraction, not.
But it definitely has the battle royale element.
Definitely a battle royale element. You're either trying to kill the boss or kill other players so that you have a chance to get to the boss because the other players can kill you and take your loot, etc., etc. There's a lot going on. It was a ton of fun. They're releasing more DLC for it every day.
I think I'm the only one who actually beat it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we, it was the type of game that we played for like 3 or 4 weeks every night in a row, and then we played something else, and it's a good time. If you like Souls games, this is a great one.
It's great.
I played the DLC for Lies of P.
I'm working on that right now.
Because I had already played Lies of P, and it's wonderful, as James will tell you, because he's working on finishing the game right now. He's about to hit the end of the DLC. The DLC was incredible. It was the best DLC I've ever seen for a Souls game, and that is saying a lot.
Beautiful.
It is wonderful and beautiful, and it feels like the right way a DLC is supposed to feel. Like the creators of the game took every lesson they ever learned making the game and used that to make something even better.
How can you make a game about Pinocchio like this? I don't know, but I want a movie of it, maybe?
And I cannot wait for their next game because it's going to be also incredible. Oh, the little orange cat. And like the whole thing is just...
I will say that's pretty saucy Pinocchio.
Oh, yeah. No,
Oh,
it
yeah.
is such a fucking great
The point
game.
is the Pinocchio who lies.
Yeah.
Because to lie is to be human, and that is the point of the game.
That's right. And he's not supposed to be a puppet. He's supposed to be a real boy, which
Yep.
means he has to lie.
Yep.
Now, the last one, my favorite one, maybe my favorite game I played this year, not necessarily the best game I played this year, but probably the one I had the most fun with.
Sure.
Was the first Berserker Kazan.
This
Man.
might be the one that I can't do.
This game is Souls-like for people who think Souls is too easy. It's the parry system from Sekiro and the loot system from something a lot more like Neo, all just like boiled down into this awesome little anime aesthetic where you are constantly parrying and perfect dodging, finding your opening to really, really hit your attacks hard, going through gauntlet after gauntlet of like enemies, bosses, and it's just there to be challenging. You get in, you learn the game, you do the challenge, you get out, you're done with it. I was done with it in about 4 weeks, and man, do I remember it right now. Man, do I feel like going back and playing with the weapons I didn't play with the first time. It was just such a riot, such a good time. Often very hard, often very punishing, but fuck, did I feel like such a badass every time I did something cool. And it lets you do cool shit a lot. So, man, yeah, the first Berserker Kazan, the last and probably best of the Souls-likes I played this year, and it's not even a From Software game, and I played a From Software game this year. So, good stuff.
John, you got something?
Have you guys heard of the game Gris? Gris.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The game about trauma? Absolutely. I've been wanting to play it, but
like,
also I don't want to be sad.
What does depression feel like? A lot like playing this game.
Well, it's a strange game. I would recommend it. I'm only like a little ways into it.
Hard recommend for me.
But I'd recommend it because I'm the player who I always try and go where the designer doesn't necessarily want me to go because I want, the secret stash or the extra
would like
loot.
Braid.
Yeah, the trinket ultimatum.
You would like Braid.
And so in this game, I keep going left or I keep going down because in my mind, you go right, you go up. Yeah. And the game just keeps letting me.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's making me feel like it's letting me. But I swear to God, I've been moving left for like so long and so many levels, and it just continues. And I'm like, oh, is this what everyone's experiencing? It's so
welcome to a game about depression and grief.
Yeah, it just like I feel like I could go anywhere and there will just be more of it. It's very, very odd. So
it is on my to playlist. Absolutely.
Yeah, Hector, you played it?
Yeah, I played it. I loved it. The studio just made not exactly a sequel, but another one.
Yeah, spiritual sequel. Yes.
Yeah. That came out. I want to say that came out this year. But man, what a great game! Yeah, I played that one. That was one. That was an old Xbox Game Pass game for me from back in the day. And cool.
It's also brutally easy.
Oh yeah.
Like,
it is not. It is meant to invoke the emotions that it invokes in people who could, if they've never played a video game before, pick up a controller and kind of figure it out in the same way that Super Mario Brothers is.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, you could get away with like using an old school Nintendo controller on this.
You need to know left and right. You need to know jump. You need to know hold the jump button, and I think that's it.
Yeah, but it's been quite a lovely journey. So I look forward to updating you guys on that.
All right. I'm going to knock out, what I'll do is I'm going to jump into movies real quick. I have a rapid fire round of things that didn't come out in 2025 that I did watch this year.
Yeah.
David Lynch died at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
I did a David Lynch binge. A lot of movies I hadn't seen. Mulholland Drive, Blue Velvet, Wild at Heart. I watched those. You finally made me watch Birdman.
Yes.
That was fantastic.
Fuck yeah.
That was absolutely such a good movie. I seriously watched James Bond because that was our Wednesday movie stuff for a while.
Yeah, you had to see some Bond classics.
Yeah, Bond classics. And man, he really just as sexist as people say that he is.
Yeah, that man is a murdering rapist. He's a fucking murdering bastard if there ever was one.
I actually, for the very first time, believe it or not, watched the Final Destination films. Had never seen them. Watched, I think, 1 through 5 or 1 through whatever before the newest one. Watched all of them in one sitting.
Yeah.
And then I watched Bloodlines, and they're consistently good. Speaking of consistently good when it comes to horror films, I watched the Terrifier films this year.
Oh yeah,
1 through 3. I saved the third one for Christmas because it is a Christmas horror movie.
Hell
And
yeah.
you know what? I gotta say, the movies do get a lot of flack for how gory they are. I don't want to be a horror historian here, but in the first couple movies, there's very little gore actually.
Yeah, fair.
There's this legend.
Is it a brutality thing, or
there's this legend about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There were where everybody says, "Oh my God, it's so fucking brutal." Do you remember seeing how gory it was when that person was put on the meat hook? Go back and rewatch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You actually don't see anything.
Yeah, it's all implied.
It's all implied, and that's what Terrifier does. It implies the horror. In the very first movie, which was a no-budget movie, they have one visual effect that is really gory, and you could tell that director was trying to get it right the first time because, man, that was our whole fucking budget. We watched the Nobody's movies. Nobody 1 and 2.
Nobody 1 and 2. Yeah, they were great.
that was a thing that we watched. These were all things of the past that I watched. But what I really want to talk about when it comes to movies this year, God, and there's so many. I'm going to pick the first one off the top of my head, which is going to be Weapons. Weapons is a movie by Zach Krieger, who I didn't realize until I went and saw this movie that I have been a big fan of his for a very long time. Not because of horror. I grew up watching The Whitest Kids You Know.
Didn't we all?
And that show still very much holds up.
Yeah. Well, except for the homophobia, but yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes, that part. That is absolutely not that part. But Weapons is a movie that tells the audience, what do you think happened? Mm-hmm. It is in the vein of things like what Jordan Peele has been up to. In fact, if I were to be so crass, this feels like the white version of a Jordan Peele movie.
Fair enough, yeah.
And that is, the reason I mean that is that in quality and in context, because in Jordan Peele's Get Out, it was very much a black horror film.
Right. It has layers,
right?
right?
It has
it's
layers
about
to
so
it.
much more than what it's about.
And Weapons is the mirror of that in the world of white people, which is
about suburban culture where children disappear for no reason from small towns. I wonder what happened.
Right. And no matter what they tell you, this shit's about like school shootings. Like, this is just, I get that I'm just like putting my high horse up here, but like this shit fucking feels like it's saying like, hey, by the way, school shootings, y'all.
Yeah, like there's did you think about what this does to a town?
Yeah. Weapons is a movie that manages to, and much like Jordan Peele does, integrates enough comedy to give you the levity between the horrific scenes so that when the horrific scenes happen, you're just sitting there going like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. And in a year where we got so many good films, Weapons hit hard, man.
Yeah, absolutely it did.
All right, Hector, what do you got?
Oh, man. All right. So back to movies. Man, let's see. I kind of want to talk about the best movies I saw this year. I mean, one of my favorite movie experiences this year was James and I went to go see the Japanese version, subs all the way, of Vampire Hunter D. We went to theaters. The original Vampire Hunter D.
I was nervous asking you. I was like, man, do you want to come see Vampire Hunter D? I don't want to be alone. Do you want to come with?
Yes, I do.
And then our other friend Will was like, bro.
Yeah. Like, let's fucking go. Let's go to this, like, Sentai, like, 1980s fucking anime ass, like, in theaters.
A movie that defined me as a child, both physically and sexually. And no, I will not get into that. But this fucking movie.
Yeah.
When we were flying to Japan, not to bring that up again, I was listening to more of the audiobooks of Vampire Hunter D while we were flying to Japan.
Hell yeah.
I have not been a weeb in a very long time. I have not watched anime in a very long time. I was that weeb on the way.
Yeah. So some of the best movies that I saw this year, and I'm going to try and do this in no particular order, though I am leaving my favorite for last. Ballerina. Something I was
so
I underestimated the shit out of this movie because it's an offshoot of a movie with 4 installments already starring Keanu Reeves, and this movie did not star Keanu Reeves. But fuck, it had everything I wanted from a John Wick movie all the way through. For every second of it, it was amazing. Ana de Armas, not that she's a revelation, she's been incredible forever. And I think most people noticed her like the first time she was in Knives Out. But my God, she's great in everything. She's been in a James Bond movie as a Bond girl who kicks ass, and she fucking kicks ass in it. Yeah. And she kicks way more ass in this. What a great movie. Let me see. 28 years later.
Oh God.
What a fucking
return
event.
to form.
Yeah. Absolute event for this movie. I had a great time. It was
the Zombie Dong of the Year award, honestly.
Yeah, there's a Zombie Dongs
which they're
everywhere.
taking away for the home release.
If there's an award for Zombie Dong of the Year, it goes to this movie.
Oh, absolutely. So you got, 28 years later, it's campy, it's silly, it's about zombies, but also it's about like society and how we deal with death and the throne of skulls we all fucking sit on every day and all of that shit. And sometimes it's very, very silly, and sometimes it's very, very serious. But at all times, man, that's a movie. That's a zombie movie.
I'm gonna piggyback on this one a little because this was one of my. I want to say it's one of the most unique viewing experiences I have ever had because you guys know Danny Boyle is my favorite director, and so going into this movie, I went in cold.
I did see Sunshine for the first time this year.
Right?
Oh,
So
man, what a
And I
great
loved
movie.
it.
We can talk about that next. I went into this one cold. I didn't even watch a single fucking trailer.
Well done.
And so we're sitting there and we're all watching it together. And like 10, 15 minutes in, I lean over to Hector. I'm like, oh, I get it. They're doing a fake movie before the real movie starts. like, oh, this is what happened to our, our families watching TV and zombies storming in. And oh, watch, it's going to cut to the real movie any minute. Oh, no. Oh, shit. It's got the guy who played Craven. That's hilarious. They got him for the fake movie inside the movie. Oh, my God. That's hysterical. Because, he's all fucking ripped and
God, I forgot that
Craven and
Craven
shit.
exists.
Yeah. And he's all like shredded. And I'm like, this, of course, in, zombie apocalypse, nobody's keeping on 30 pounds of extra muscle. So that's hilarious. Oh, my God. It's so funny. And then 40 minutes goes by and 50 minutes. And I'm like, oh no, this is the movie.
This is the whole movie.
Oh my God, so I had to like reassess in my brain what was happening. I'm like, no, I'm actually watching the movie right now.
Yep.
That's weird.
He was all just like pent up, like you just waiting for it to release, and it never did.
So good.
Yeah, and so it was the most unique experience I've had in many years. But why don't you guys tell me a little bit about Sunshine, which for the record, it was my birthday and I made everybody come over and watch Sunshine, which is my favorite film of all time.
Yeah, and I will say I fucking love that movie, and I loved watching it, and I loved watching it with you. I love watching people's favorite movies with them through their eyes.
If you
maybe for my birthday this year, we'll all sit down and watch Fight Club on Blu-ray.
If you guys like literally to anybody that like hangs out with me, if like I say, "Oh, this movie," and you're like, "Oh, well, I've never seen that movie," my response will never be, "Oh my God, you've never seen that," in an insulting tone. No, I once dated somebody that had never seen Ghostbusters, and you know what? I didn't insult her about it. The first thing I wanted to do was put it on so I could watch it through her eyes.
Yeah, why are we doing that right now? Is the only appropriate response to
And for
that.
the record,
Absolutely, let's go.
Did you ask her immediately, like, do you know that's a blowjob happening right now?
No, I
It's a ghost
didn't.
blowjob.
I was too concerned as was the blowjob going to be happening later.
Because I think all of us didn't figure that till way later.
Oh man! So, best movies I've seen this year. I'll go through them a little bit rapid fire, real quick. Honey, Don't. Ethan Cohen making
so good.
another one of the gayest movies ever made with Margaret Qualley
Mwah.
having an amazing time. Margaret Qualley is on the most epic run right now of just being in like
Absolutely.
amazing movie after amazing movie after amazing movie with no signs of slowing down considering the group of movies you have coming out in the next 2 years. Fantastic. One battle after another. P.T. Anderson's back, baby.
Yeah,
He's back and he's making movies that, if we didn't have Tarantino, we would have Terrence Malick, we would have P.T. Anderson. We have these people who love movies so much that they don't care what other people like. And they just want to make movies and they figure out a way to do it and they do it and they figure out a way to get them released. And we have no choice but to look at them and be like, you know what? It's not a perfect movie, but it's a goddamn fucking great movie. And it's nothing like anything else in theaters right now. And that's what we got in one battle after another. And man, what a good time. Another of the best movies I saw this year, which doesn't, again, necessarily not in any order, Superman. Fuck Superman.
Superhero movie of the year.
I wanted it to be good. It was so much better than good. And don't get me wrong, Fantastic Four was great.
I teared up in the theaters. I'm not gonna lie.
Fantastic Four goes on a list somewhere of
talk about
movies
that in a
I
minute.
enjoyed this year. It's fine.
We'll talk about it.
But the Superman movie made me think about shit. Made me think about Superman, made me think about the world, made me think about how we look at it, how we live in it, how I would live in it if I were Superman.
Watching Superman wanted to make me be a better person, and I think that if you can have one takeaway from Superman as a superhero, that's all he would want.
Yeah. Literally, like, he wants you to believe that being kind and loving people is actually what punk rock is.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be punk rock, if you want to be badass, if you want to be a member of the people and be a people person and, damn the man and fight the power and just be, all about, just helping your fellow man.
It was a movie we needed right now. I'm just going to
That's
say
Superman.
It's just a fucking movie we needed right now.
Yeah,
in a time where
straight up.
superhero movies have not been good,
Yeah.
and in a time where we are so politically divided, emotionally divided, and just have trouble just figuring out what to do next. We got a movie that said it's okay to hope, it's better to be kind to your neighbors and love them, and that hate is not the way.
Yeah, you're looking at a movie that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make. Made by one of the biggest studios on earth.
By one of the biggest directors.
Yeah, but one of the biggest directors / fucking presidents of DC. This is one of the biggest movies of the year, and it is about kindness and hope, and it is about the main antagonist is a shitty megalomaniacal fucking billionaire, of which we have far too many right now, and which you could put any one of them in his place and be like, oh, that's that real life person. I hope Superman caves his head in.
Yeah.
But he won't, because he's Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
He saves the squirrel. He says, gosh, he is cheesy and he's over the top, and it's what we fucking need right now.
Yeah, no, that was great. And it is maybe not the second favorite movie I saw this year, but certainly on that list, because only one movie gets to be ranked, and that's the first one. And that was Sinners.
Fucking Sinners. Okay, let's talk about
John,
Sinners.
did you see Sinners?
I still haven't. I'm sorry. I was
All
going
right,
between. I was between
so-
TVs.
We will have to rectify that soon.
I am 3 months away from participating in a LARP that is based on Sinners.
Okay. Yeah. That is how much effect this movie has had on literally everything. This is Ryan Coogler doing that thing he does where he makes a movie and everyone goes, "Fuck, why aren't we doing that?" He did it with Creed. He did it with Black Panther. He did it with this movie. And it's because he belongs right there in the conversation with these cinephiles that just want to make things. And he went in and he did the studio thing, and he made Marvel movies, and he made Rocky movies so that he could make movies about Creed. But this guy was always there, being the biggest film nerd you ever met.
I walked out of this movie going, is this my movie of the year?
Yeah, full on. And my God, what a fucking movie. In every sense of the word, in every way, every visual style. If you can, see it in IMAX. If you can't, most people can't, watch it anyway. Watch it any way you can.
Yeah.
Watch it on HBO Max. Watch it on your fucking phone. Watch it on a tablet, on an airplane. Watch it. But if you can, watch it with the best sound system you can get on the biggest screen you can get. Because, my God, this movie
gorgeous.
is an experience that you should have. And if I had to, gun to my head, pick my movie of the year, it wouldn't even be a question. It would be Sinners.
Is it somebody who is a connoisseur of vampire films? I don't know if you know that about me. I am a connoisseur of vampire films. I had to walk out of that theater going, is this my favorite vampire movie of all time?
Could
because
be.
Holy shit.
Could absolutely be.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies where every line of dialogue relates to every other, where every line said, every way.
It deserves a rewatch.
Makes sense in every way. It deserves multiple rewatches.
The soundtrack.
Oh, God, the soundtrack.
The acting. The things that happen in the movie where Haley Steinfeld spits in someone's mouth and you have to go, like, I'm questioning if I'm into that or not.
Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't let anyone do it. I'd let her do it.
Like, it's a whole thing. If you've not seen Sinners, please watch Sinners.
But my God, Sinners, like, wow, straight up wow.
Yeah.
That was, again, like, the best movie I saw this year, probably by a lot. And I saw some great shit, and I'm going to continue to watch great stuff all year long. For the rest of the year and into Oscar season in January and February, but fuck this movie. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I want to talk a little bit about Attack on Titan because I finally finished it this year.
Yeah.
And
Oh, boy.
the
Yikes.
ending.
Big yikes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, for any of you out there who, whether you have or haven't finished it, the ending is no spoilers. Just to
You
say,
know what? You can spoil
it's-
Attack on Titan. I'm
You
okay
can
with
absolutely
it.
spoil
I'm
it because
fine
you
with
know
it.
what? That
the ending is shit. The ending is the
it's
worst.
okay to spoil things that have shitty endings.
Yeah, it's the worst possible ending. But I will say, because of this gentleman's signified B-sides, I actually gained a weird respect for the ending.
Sure.
Because he explains, through a bunch of interviews and stuff that he cites that the guy who wrote it, he wrote it, when he was young, when he first had the idea, and he wrote the ending. And as a creator, he just felt like, I'm kind of shit the way that my hero is kind of shit. And I wrote this shitty ending. And the only way that I and this hero together in this story of creativity makes sense is if I stick with this shitty ending.
Yeah, but
And
there's
I'm
the
like,
whole Nazi of
interesting.
it all.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ, the racist
No,
allegories.
that's the problem. Is like I get that, and I'm into it. I really am. And if it's an old Yeller style, like the dog dies at the end, and like maybe I shouldn't do that to my audience. Fuck. But c'est la vie, so is life. It'd be like, okay, but do you really want the ending to your like, I don't know, 1,000 episode manga series to be maybe the Nazis were right.
Yeah.
Fuck, the Jews really do control everything,
like
and
in
they
this
must
allegory,
be stopped.
Yeah, for those of you
genocide
unfamiliar.
is actually the answer.
For those of you unfamiliar, within this reality, the Jewish allegory are literal Titan monsters who have to be controlled
They must
so that
be
they
controlled.
won't destroy civilization.
They cause too much destruction. And in order to control them, we must have a society built on a caste system of have and have nots, where we put the lowest, and by that I mean poorest people, out at the front where the Jews can eat them. The Titans can eat them.
All pun intended. I don't think there's any way to whitewash that reading into
it was white to start
it.
with. The white people
Like-
invented this shit.
Like there was no way to watch Attack on Titan without. And I remember when that started happening in like the third season or so, and my wife is like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "No, it's going somewhere. It's going." Oh
no, it's going here.
no, it's just.
It is going right here.
And then at one point she said, "Yeah, I don't want to watch it anymore." I'm like, "I know. I don't want to watch it either, but I'm going down with this fucking ship." And I just continued, and I made it to the end. And, that's all I can say about it is that signified B-sides give me a little bit of respect for it in a weird, twisted way.
No, and he's great at that. And if we were plugging YouTube channels, which we are right this second, if I could give you any, obviously there are my favorites. And there are the big boys and girls and our non-binary pals and all of them there that I love watching. FT Signifier is a channel, and his B-sides and the stuff that he does with less scripting. That's a type of YouTube channel that I will see a video of it and be like, I'm watching that tonight.
Yeah.
Like, that is what I'm going to put on instead of a TV show, instead of a movie. Whatever else I was going to watch, it goes on hold until I'm done watching whatever FT Signifier has to say. And sometimes it's 15 minutes on a movie he just watched that he will reprise his opinion of later. And sometimes it's 2 hours on Kanye West.
Or
Ooh, man,
Charlie.
that was a lot.
We all saw the Charlie
Or
Kirk.
the Charlie Kirk
yeah.
episode is incredible.
It's beautiful.
And just
Beautiful.
to plug one of my favorite streaming services, if you watch him on Nebula, his videos are unedited.
Yep.
And not unedited, that's not what I mean. I mean they're unredacted,
Yep.
uncensored.
Yep.
Uncensored.
All right. So I had a lot of things I want to talk about here. I'm going to do another quick burst list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the Marvel Universe in 2025.
Both of them?
So
Both
we're
movies?
you say that, but we're gonna knock some stuff out. So 2025 MCU, what we got was kicking off the year: Captain America: Brave New World.
Sorry.
Anthony Mackie was done wrong.
Yeah, he was.
He was
he
done
deserved
dirty.
so much better than that bullshit.
He deserved so much better than that piece of shit that we got. And And I feel bad for him because you know what? This was supposed to be the first like him as Captain America movie.
Yeah.
And considering like, say what you want, Falcon and the Winter Soldier actually is really good still if you go back and watch it.
Oh, no, that show's badass.
That show still fucking holds up. And for this to be the sequel to that show, that's upsetting.
It sounds like you guys don't even want Harrison Ford to get another paycheck for showing up.
Harrison Ford has been paid. He's been paid enough.
Good for him. He's been paid.
But look at him.
I don't know why he's doing movies right now. I hope he's not in financial trouble.
Yeah, like
Right.
weed is not that expensive, Harrison.
No.
Exactly. You can just
It
get
was
weed
never
anywhere.
that expensive, and he was smoking it when he was a carpenter before he was on Star Wars.
All right, next up, let's talk about
Fantastic Four.
let's talk about Fantastic Four First Steps.
Now that
Underappreciated Marvel movie of the year. We're hearing reports that it's not being streamed as often.
Right.
It's a good movie.
no, it couldn't not be underappreciated because Superman came out like 2 weeks before.
That is true.
And you know what? Superman was so uplifting and beautiful and awesome and smart, and this movie was rather meditative.
I think
And
that we would
it-
have found this uplifting if Superman hadn't come out first. We'd be
Probably,
like, oh, this
maybe.
is about a family doing family stuff. This feels so good.
Yeah, no, and all of that was great, and their family dynamic was fantastic, and their chemistry together was
they
all
were.
very, very
Yeah.
good. And Pedro Pascal, every member of the family was spot on, doing a good time, making good jokes.
Could have used better dye jobs.
They made Galactus fucking scary.
Yep.
And Galactus is a goofy fucking character to have on screen.
Absolutely.
And they made him terrifying. They made the Silver Surfer both interesting,
Yep.
smart, strong, and sexy.
Yep.
but Silver
And,
Surfer's always been sexy, for the record.
Even Norrin Rad, that dude had fucking abs for days.
like this was a very well made movie that I have a great time in.
Yep.
Like everything about this movie was awesome. It just wasn't the best superhero movie of the year, not by a long shot. It's really hard to compete with James Gunn when he's doing James Gunn shit.
Let's talk about what was my superhero movie of the year before Superman came along, and that was Thunderbolts.
Yeah, Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. My God, if you have not seen this movie was written and directed by people who have all worked for A24, and all of it shows in every frame of this movie.
Oh yeah.
It is a movie in which the power of friendship gets them through it, and it's not a bad thing.
Yep.
It didn't have to be another Marvel CGI laser fest. It was about people who have emotional trauma trying to get through their emotional trauma because Jesus Christ. And honestly, I will say, if you had to give me one criticism about it, Bucky was the weird part about it because he had like just become a senator in the previous movie, and it felt weird to have him in there.
Yeah.
Everybody else, they're all outcasts. They're all struggling. They are trying to figure out who they are. The bad guy, quote unquote, is not about a world-ending threat-ish. It's more about a person who's struggled to find who he is as a person in a world where people like him have been abused by the system. My God, Thunderbolts, if it wasn't for Superman, would be my superhero movie of the year.
Oh, easily, yeah.
It's so good.
But is it as good as Suicide Squad?
Which one? There's only one.
What do you
right?
mean? Which one?
There's only one. There's only one.
There's one movie.
Just the James Gunn one, right?
No, there's just the one.
Yeah.
It does have a director. He is James Gunn.
Fair.
Yeah. There's
Fair.
the
It is
Suicide
better
Squad.
than that, though. Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, I genuinely feel like it's more heartfelt.
All right.
Respectfully disagree, but that's what we're here for.
All right, next up on the Marvel list, we're going to talk about some TV stuff real quick. We're going to knock them out real quick. Daredevil Born Again.
Oh, fuck yes. I'm going to tell you guys about our experience with this movie, unless you were going to.
No, go ahead.
All right. So, there is another set of directors who work solely as a team. And when you think about Ethel and Joel Cohen, when you think about the Russo brothers, when they work together, this doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. And Benson and Moorhead make some of the most interesting... Horror is the wrong word, but it's the first word that comes to mind. But they make some of the most interesting, some of the most insightful, some of the most
independent.
thought-provoking, and yes, incredibly fucking independent, like locked in a room
Shoestring
independent
budget.
style movies, and they've been doing it for a long time.
I think there's like currently 5 in their series that are all connected.
Yeah. And then they're not sequels to each other. They are just loosely
Interlocked
connected
in a way.
almost as loosely as Tarantino movies are, where it's like a reference here, a reference there. But really, what you're here for is the story we're telling right now. And at some point, someone at Disney was like, "Hey, this Daredevil series that we're gonna bring back, what we've done so far is boring as shit. We need this to be better. We don't want another piece of shit. You know, we don't want another fucking secret invasion on our hands." Ugh. And some genius who deserves a raise or 2 raises or an executive fucking title in front of their name was like, "So have you heard of Benson and Moorhead?"
They did work on Loki season 2.
Yeah. They wrote for us on Loki season 2, and I bet you they could take this and turn it into something truly great. And
so
man,
there were parts of it that were great, and there were parts that weren't. And from what we hear from behind the scenes, the parts that weren't were the parts they didn't work on.
Yep. Yeah, because again, they had like an entire series, and I think Benson and Moorhead were allowed to add like 2 episodes to the front and 1 to the end and re-edit all the stuff in the middle. And you can tell when it's them, and you can tell when it's not them.
I gotta say, I love Vincent D'Onofrio as Orson Welles in Ed Wood, but I think now he's fucking ready.
All right, we're almost through the list here. Let's talk about really quickly. We watched Ironheart this year.
Ironheart,
which is a series, by the way, I feel like is underrated and deserves a little bit more recognition.
Yeah, I feel like that came out and no one ever talked about it again.
Yeah, it came out. We were watching it week to week. It was really fun, like watching this character grow. A lot of people who were very white don't like this character in the comics. And that's a shame because she is a really fun character. Yeah. And in the comics, she really was written to be the person who like inherits the crown of Iron Man. In this, she's given a very different backstory. But it was a lot of fun. The stuff with her in the hood was really interesting.
Yeah.
It set up a little bit of mystical stuff. We got Mephisto. Nobody had talked about that. We got fucking Mephisto, which, my God, fucking Borat's Mephisto? What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have anyone do anything, you have Sacha Baron Cohen do something.
Yeah, absolutely fucking did it. The last couple things I want to talk about to knock out all of Marvel for the rest of this conversation are animated projects that I watched. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is not connected to the MCU. It is its own story.
That's not like the one for actual babies, right?
No. It's a kid's show.
Yeah.
But like
but there's like one that's made for like 4-year-olds.
No. The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man starts with Peter Parker in college.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the idea behind it is this portal opens up where like this Venom suit or this Venom like comes in fighting Doctor Strange. It leads to a whole different series of events. I won't go too behind the scenes because the original intention from what we heard rumored was that this was supposed to be the prequel to Spider-Man. And at some point they said we're just not going to do that. So it's its own series. You can watch it by itself. You don't have to watch the MCU. People who worked on X-Men 97 worked on this. Really cool characters like Nico from The Runaways is in it. The music is banger. The hip-hop tracks are fucking rock solid. If you were looking for a show to get up on a Saturday and make your breakfast and maybe watch an episode or two just to feel like a kid again, but without it feeling like a kid's show, this is the show. I recommend this to you, please.
Sounds good.
Next up, we have Eyes of Wakanda. Nobody watched that. That is a short form, like 4-episode anthology series just about the history of Wakanda.
Yeah, good animation.
Done with some of the most beautiful animation in the world. God, my favorite episode is, I want to say episode 2 or 3, which is about like the Wakandan and like, I think it's Achilles.
Yeah.
And their boyfriends and just what it means for them to be boyfriends back then while also being interracial. And like a lot of people are going to hear what I'm saying right now and go, I don't want to hear anything about that. Fuck you. Like, this is so good.
No, it's so good.
They're so adorable together. Like, I fucking love it. The last thing I'm going to talk about, Marvel Zombies, another project nobody really watched. It was an animated feature that came out, and all it did was do the Marvel zombies. They took the Marvel zombies from What If,
Yeah.
and then they made it into a bigger thing.
Yeah, and it was a big comic book run, if I remember correctly.
Oh, it was huge. It was so big it had sequels. It was so
they
big
expanded
that
it,
the
DLC,
game that you
like-
and I play almost every single day.
Oh yeah, it's got that zombies
Has
mode.
an entire zombies mode for it, like, and that in the skins and everything in Marvel Rivals come from this animated series. Like, it is so fucking good. Like, it was just something that came out at Halloween, and I don't know what's going on with Disney Plus where they just refuse to fucking promote their shit.
That's the Netflix model.
But, like-
you don't advertise the great shit you're releasing because that's not the point, and it costs money.
Half the things I just talked about in here, most of you have probably not seen, and that's a goddamn shame because the movies suck this year other than fucking, oh God, what was it? Thunderbolts.
Oh, yeah,
Everything
Thunderbolts.
else, like, is so good. Marvel is doing good stuff. They're just not promoting it the way that they fucking should be.
I think weirdly that might be a tactic in the sense that if they promote where their good stuff is this hard and their good stuff does not happen to be big budget movies, their audience might get a little like, oh, so that's where your attention is now?
Hard dislike, don't like it. Hector, what do you
I
got for
think
me?
it's more of a so then that's the problem with Netflix is if Netflix is like, here are the 4 big projects we're promoting right now.
Yep.
Then people go and watch them, and then they'll be like, I watched Netflix. Next streaming service, please. And that's not what they want them to do. They want them to stay on Netflix forever. They want you to binge 15 hours of the Great British Bake Off and then hopefully stumble into Wednesday and binge all of that.
Yeah.
They don't want to tell you, hey, you need to watch Wednesday, and you need to watch this movie, and then you need to watch Innocence, and then you need to watch, The Haunting of Hill House. Then no, they need to be like, I just go to Netflix and I click on things. That's all they want from you.
And that's the issue.
Disney Plus is doing the same thing, and they're idiots.
Yeah. There was so much good Marvel stuff that came out this year. None of it was in theaters except for Thunderbolts. And please go and fucking watch it. Eyes of Wakanda. Seriously, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. There's so much good stuff. You just got to dig around a little bit. Hector, what do you want to talk about?
I got a couple of final mentions here on the video games. That's playing with the boys type stuff.
All right. What'd the boys
Obviously,
do?
I played some Arc Raiders this year. That's a really good time. As far as extraction shooters go, it's the best one I've ever played because I'm not really a fan of the genre, and this one is amazing.
Yep. I feel like I'm missing. Out with y'all.
It's a
free,
great one to
right?
pick up. It is not free.
Oh,
Yeah.
It is not pay to win. It is not buy anything unless you want to buy a battle pass that gets you skins. Other than that, it is not full price.
Yeah.
I want to say it's like 30 or 40 bucks.
$30, I believe.
Huh.
But it's a great one to play with the boys. Another one we played this year was Warhammer 40k Darktide. I went
got
ahead
me
and
in
dragged James and Ross into that one, and man, did we have a great time playing Darktide.
What a good time.
It is Left 4 Dead in Warhammer 40k.
Yep.
You are a zealot or you are a
I was a psycher.
psyker, or you are an actual fucking giant ogre, and they are just sending you down thousands of levels into the city to fight off rebellions and whatever. And it's, again, 4-player cooperative, playing against the level, playing against the director who's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
What a great game. We already talked about Night Rain. Should talk about Marvel Rivals.
Yeah,
Because man, we played a lot of Marvel Rivals this year.
If
and
numbers,
it's not getting old.
If numbers were the determination of a game of the year for somebody, this is the game that. So, if you don't know, me and a few of our friends, we have like our after work group.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we get off work and we load up a game, and we always have a game that we're playing. We played V Rising for a while.
Yeah.
A couple of things. We were big Overwatch players for a long time. I'm literally sitting in an Overwatch chair. Overwatch was a big deal until it wasn't. And then Marvel Rivals came out. And we didn't know if it was going to be that good. And now...
And we were sure it wasn't going to be, in fact.
And then it became our after work game.
Yeah, because it's great. It's well made. They're adding content all the time. You choose your own level of engagement monetarily, but it's free to play to start.
Yep.
And you don't need any money to be good at it.
You haven't even bought the Battle Pass this
I
season.
haven't bought the Battle Pass for this season because I don't super care for it.
Yep.
And I haven't spent a dime on this game this year, or at least in the last like 3 months that I've played 300 hours of.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah, we have a full group that goes together. I mean, we got you're our healer, I tank, and we've got Ross who kind of goes interchangeably between things. It was a game that we all kind of scoffed at. And if I could put this out there, I feel like you guys humored me by coming in and playing it with me because I was like, guys, come play a Marvel game with me.
We were absolutely like, I mean, we don't lose anything by playing a game with our buddy. Let's jump in there, and we never left.
Yeah,
because it's a good time.
Yeah, I mean, recently,
if it sucked, we would have bailed.
And it's a game that does like the funniest shit. It does the shit that we only wished like Overwatch would do. Like this is such a dumb thing to mention, but like recently it was released that Deadpool's coming in the next season. And this is a thing that only people who pay this much attention to the game know. If you look at Deadpool in the menu of the game, because it's saying like, hey, he comes out on like January 16th. Every day you check his character profile, it changes. Mm-hmm. Not just changes his description, but like what class he is.
Yeah.
Like the game is fucking with you as to what Deadpool is going to be the way that Deadpool is in that game. And it's a game that we love. It's a game that we yell a lot about. And it's a game that like, it's a comfort food for me.
Oh yeah, the highs are high, the lows are low. Like you're at the very least you're never bored, and it's a great way to wind down after work. Just a little bit of action, a little bit of competition, a little bit of practice. We can always use
more healers.
Yeah, and we can always use more healers. Always. But if I'm gonna wrap up the video game conversation for this year, there's only one game we need to talk about.
There's only one.
Yeah. So we've talked about it quite a bit already this year, but we recently got to watch it absolutely sweep the fucking Game Awards, which I hope you tuned in for that. But Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, the game of the year, the actors of the year, the soundtrack of the year, the surprise of the year. Coming from a bunch of developers who came from a myriad of other places, or some of them...
Mostly Ubisoft.
Mostly Ubisoft. Some of them their first time even being part of a video game.
Yep. They watched YouTube tutorials to make this game.
Yeah, just having a singular vision, everyone being on board, everyone being in the right place at the right time with the right skills to make a game that resonated far and wide and was universally praised as not just an imitable work of art, not just something that will go down in the ages, but also a very fun, very well-designed, very interesting fucking video game. Mm-hmm. It's not like, the last time people really felt like this about a game, we were in the AAA space. We were talking about games like The Last of Us, games with teams of 200, 300, 400 people, games that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make, where everything was razor sharp and focused down to a point where like it's just intuitive, it just works, it never takes you out of the experience, and the game is there to tell you a story while being as frictionless as possible with the gameplay, but also being fun at the same time. That's what The Last of Us does. That's what makes it as good as it is. Mm-hmm. This game did all of that on a low-end AA budget with a team of 33 people plus a studio hired out otherwise, with an amateur at best with some of these people's skills. And my God, did they make something where you don't see the seams, you don't see the cracks, you don't see where the person with no experience took over. It all comes together in such a beautiful form and creates something that I never once blinked at. I never once said, oh, that wasn't so good. There was never a line of dialogue, never a recorded audible cue, never an underbaked RPG system, never a moment where I wasn't like, God, this is fucking amazing, because that's how I felt about every moment playing this game. It's a game I will truly never forget. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Like,
I played Citizen Sleeper 2 at the beginning of the year and said this has got to be my game of the year until Expedition 33, and then I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. Like my feelings are a painting on a canvas.
Yeah. I had 2 games this year that I was sure, positive were going to be the biggest games of the year. That I'm still playing right now, that I love dearly. Hades 2 by Supergiant, probably my favorite studio. And Hollow Knight Silksong by Team Cherry, the studio that loves the most to punch me in the face and ass and balls. But I love them for it because, my God, do they make incredible games. And both of those lived up to the expectations that I had for the sequels to the projects that I loved. And at the end of the year, when it came down to what was the best game of the year, all I could say was Expedition 33.
Yep.
It was too easy a choice to make in a way that made me question myself and everything else and made me really analyze what I was talking about. And at the end, it still comes out. Expedition 33.
John, is there anything you want to mention before I get into the wrap-up here?
Yeah, one last tiny thing. It's actually was because of David Lynch. I watched his film, The Straight Story, which is, for the record, the only Disney-produced David Lynch movie ever. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And you watch it, and it is, by and large, the most movie-like movie he's ever made. Like, if you read a book about screenwriting, Save the Cat or Story or whatever the hell else, this follows the rules of what a story told in the medium of film should be. It's very, straightforward. And it's called The Straight Story. And it's about, it reminds me a lot of both you and I, James, because we have, brothers in our life and we have issues with those brothers. And the whole story's just about this man who fixes up a fucking lawnmower to go see his brother like states away. And it's a beautiful film. Like, I had trouble believing it was David Lynch because it was just a very, telling a straightforward story. No subterfuge, no weird left turns.
You're notoriously not a Lynch fan.
Oh, yeah, for the record, for anybody out there, I am not a Lynch person.
We are very much polar opposites.
Okay, yeah, I do not like Lynch at all. But I watch this because I do love Lynch as a person. Like, every interview he's ever given, I'm just like, oh, shit, yes. Except when he says you shouldn't watch movies on your phone. I'm like, dude, your movies haven't been in theaters since Dune. And that was a huge mistake. But I do love Lynch, the person. So when he passed away, I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this one a try. And I'm really glad I did.
Okay. So I know where I want to finish with all this because there's a big movie I want to finish it with. But I'll do just a rapid fire round of other things that I did this year. I played the MechWarrior 5 Clans games.
Yeah.
Which are separate from the MechWarrior 5 Mercenary games. I only played the first base game. Very enjoyable. I'm a big mech simulator person. Absolutely loved that. I played Death Stranding 2. Nobody's talking about this.
Yeah, no one talked about Death Stranding 2. I can't wait to play it.
It's kind of a shame because Death Stranding 2, like it deserves.
I heard it fucks.
It deserves to be on all the Game of the Year lists. It's just unfortunately you came out in the same year as Expedition 33.
Yeah, no, this is one of those situations. Like we're in 2008 Oscars all over again, where it's like you had Silksong and you had Hades 2 and you had fucking Death Stranding 2, and these should have been fighting for their lives for Game of the Year, but everyone knew going into the Game Awards that none of them had a fucking chance.
And Death Stranding does everything right. It fixes so many things. Story is beautiful and haunting, and every bit of it's an improvement and deserves a lot. It just unfortunately came out the same time as Expedition 33.
And by that I mean the same year.
Same year. Another game that's not being talked about at all that I played this year, Metaphor Refantagio.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking Atlas. That's fucking medieval Persona. That is a game that is a heartfelt story that is maybe in a post-apocalyptic world. I'm not going to tell you because you got to play it and figure that out. But it is a beautiful game, and it's a very loving game. And it builds on everything Persona does, but better because you're not using the demon summoning in it the way that you do in Persona. It's gorgeous. Like if you want a traditional JRPG, but it has the cool persona element where like if you know the enemy's element, you get extra turns by like playing off that. If the idea of being a school kid in Persona doesn't turn you on, but you like the combat system, Metaphor Refantagio, absolutely. I want to give a big shout out to a game that nobody here in America is going to get to play, and it makes me very sad in my heart. There's a game called Gundam Assault Battle. It's an arcade game that I found while we were in Japan. It is a game that is a card-based tactical fighting game ish.
Also mechs. Also
Gundams, where you literally have these things, and it's hard to describe on the arcade cabinet, where the deck that you get, you pair pilots with Gundams, and then you have a full touch screen, and this is going to be so weird to describe. A full touch screen in front of you, but it's like an auto battler with 2 lanes. And you deploy your mechs that have pilots in them, and all of them have a point value. And adding the point value of the pilot plus the mech is the deployment value. And I know we're getting into the weeds here.
Yeah.
But like that means
I have something on screen that resembles anything?
It's ish. That's kind of it, but now it's hard to fucking like find.
It would be a difficult Google, not gonna lie.
This is a Japan-only game.
It would have been a difficult Google before AI.
Right. It's a Japan-only game.
You people wouldn't know it. It's from Japan.
The big thing about it is that it's actually network connected to all the other units in the country. And so I spent my time playing this card game that is a Gundam game, that is a strategy game, for like I think I probably lost about $200 to this arcade game. I have an entire deck of cards that I will never use again that are specific for this game. And it was one of the most fun experiences I had. And I felt, I am in a clan, by the way, for this game. And I felt like a part of this clan in like the 3 days that I played this game. It was fucking wild. So that's Gundam Assault Battle is what it's called.
I have to very quickly point out that one of my favorite games that I played in a Japanese arcade was a subway train conductor simulator.
You loved that.
It was so fucking cool.
And it's a series.
It is a series. It has custom controls and a custom chair and the whole deal. Yeah, and none of it was in English.
It's a Japanese train. It's called, I don't know what it's called.
That's exactly it. And none of it is in English. And so I had my phone up with Google Translate on it, pointing it at the screens while I literally played this game in the corner of the arcade. Just the fucking train autism simulator, having the time.
I think you may have train autism.
The fucking time. If it's for this game, then yes,
love.
I do.
I say it with love.
No, I'm finally diagnosed. Whatever. I knew my mental issue had a name. I just hadn't heard it yet.
Yeah.
But this game whispered it to me.
You were the man who figured out the fucking Japanese train system before any of us.
Oh, yeah.
You were just like, I got this, guys. Hold on.
I'm not even kidding. I have a rule with my wife to never, ever allow me to get into trains. I have no interest whatsoever in trains, but I know the second I end up in a train store, I'm like, oh, what is? Oh, these are gauge 0. Ooh, these are gauge 00. Ooh.
All right, a couple quick honorable mentions before we get to my final stuff about this. I want to real quick. I want to say Toxic Avenger.
Oh, fuck yeah, Toxic Avenger.
The movie where all of its marketing budget went to help those lesser than. Please, we've talked about this several times.
Yeah, we had Peter Dinklage. Who did it. He pissed on his own face for fun.
Yep, it was great. As far as fun movies go, you and I watched a movie called Heavy Trip.
Heavy Trip. We really need to watch the sequel.
It is a Norwegian movie about a bunch of kids who have a metal band.
Yeah, and they're going to play at a big festival in Germany or some shit.
I don't want to spoil it for you. It is so fun. It is hilarious.
Yeah.
There is a sequel. It won South by Awards.
Yeah,
let's just fucking say that.
Yeah, and there's no English in the movie, and it's a great time.
Yeah.
Man, good times.
A movie that I picked this year was called Paul Dude's Deadly Lunch Break.
Yeah, that was a good one.
British movie about a man who basically applies to be on American Idol and basically gets rejected, and a bunch of killings happen? Question mark. All I will say is that if you like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, this is the movie for you.
100%.
Straight up with that. All right, I want to get into the big movie that I want to talk about to wrap this up. Go ahead.
So the last one that I saw on your list that I feel like we would be ref for not mentioning, because I'm not sure if we mentioned it at the beginning of last year, it's Hundreds of Beavers.
Hundreds of Beavers, yes. That was your big... In January, we all pick a random-ass movie to watch.
It's just a movie that you either are sure no one's seen or you're sure everyone will like watching. It really doesn't matter. It's just a movie you really want to see with your friends.
Yep.
I already have mine picked out for this year.
Me too.
But last year, it was Hundreds of Beavers, and... There's so many fucking beavers
It's
in
a
this
silent movie, by the way.
It is a 100% silent movie in 100% black and white, starring a dude and a whole bunch of people in animal costumes, and with a few other player characters here or there. And you will have the night of your life watching this movie with a group of people. You will have so much fucking fun.
Yep.
What a great movie.
I don't really need to spend any time on this, but Wake Up Dead Man is the next Ryan Johnson.
Oh, yeah, it's in the next Knives Out movie. It's Ryan Johnson. Everything he makes is great. I found out when we were watching it that James hasn't seen Brick.
Yep.
And we're going to watch Brick very soon.
I saw the movie Irreversible. We don't need to talk about that.
We don't talk about Irreversible anymore.
Do not need to talk about that.
We've seen it and we're moving on.
All right, let's get to the end of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one shout out, and then I'm going to talk about a big movie that deserves to be talked about. So a big shout out, and the reason I'm saying this is that the story I'm about to tell you happened last night. Last night I was sitting on my couch. I was watching Superman and Lois, the really cool CW show.
What a wonderful show.
I was looking for something to play on my Steam Deck that I didn't have before. I was looking to play maybe a brawler, and because you and I are in a Steam family group, Streets of Rage 4 was on there.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I was like, hey, cool. Let me go ahead and install that. I love the Streets of Rage games when I was a kid. This will be fun. And I played through like 2 to 3 stages, by myself, and I was kind of having a good time. It's definitely exactly like the old Sega games, except for
feels like
crisper animation, all this stuff. And then I was like, well, I'm getting kind of bored. Maybe I'm going to close up. But before I do, I'm going to check the online and see if there's an online game. Now, this isn't a game that is really widely played. There was all of one lobby that was open. It was a lobby by, and I'm hoping I'm getting the name right. I think the name was Nasty Fat Man.
Nice.
Had a lobby open, and it was the hardest difficulty of the game, which is called Maniac Mode. And I was like, you know what? I've got nothing else to do today. I mean, there's not like this is a voice communication game. I'll go ahead and join his lobby. Mm-hmm. And a lobby is only 2 people, by the way. He was just waiting for one other person. I jumped in, and I played. I started it up with him, and I noticed at the beginning, because you have a character selection, because he has all the characters plus DLCs, all of that was available to me, even though I didn't have that. But I picked like Axel, the most generic character from the Streets of Rage 4, and then he played a character from Streets of Rage 2, which was really cool because the character in Streets of Rage 2 was just the exact character from Streets of Rage 2. He had no special abilities. He was pixelated. I think that the game actually tunes those characters to do more damage because they have less moves.
Well, it makes sense.
And so we played through like the first 3 levels, and then we both died. And because he was the lobby host, he went ahead and said, hey, I'm going to go ahead, or not even saying anything. He just started a second game, and I was like, you know what, it's early enough, I'm going to go ahead and keep going. Mm-hmm. And I picked a character from Streets of Rage 1 because he had that unlocked. And him and I got to the final level of the game on the hardest difficulty. And I don't know who you are. I tried to add you to my Steam friends list because it took me a while to remember your name, just to say thank you. Because last night I got to have an experience that I haven't had in a long time, because I was playing this beat 'em up. And if you've ever played a beat 'em up with other people, there's a I don't know how to describe it. There's a way that you sync up with each other where You know who needs to pick up the health item, who needs to pick up the points items to get into their life.
There's synergy.
And whoever, him or her, or they and I, were in sync that we were playing through this on the hardest difficulty. Again, I had only played this game for like 20 minutes before this. And by the end of it, we didn't finish the game, but God, we made it to the fucking end. And it made me remember why I loved playing games in the arcade and playing games on couches with other people, even though we never spoke once or any of it. And like I literally tried to look him up on Steam to like find him so that I could just send him a thank you message, because like, I don't know, man, it's been a really rough year.
Mm-hmm.
And like for like 2 hours, like I had to pause the show I was watching because we were going through the game so fast. And I just like felt like a kid again. And it's so hard in this fucking day and age to feel like that. And it's weird to say that when you're like the guy I was playing with, his name is like Nasty Fat Man on Steam. But like, man, I had a good time, and it really meant a lot to me. And so I want to go into the final thing to really talk about for this year that had an emotional impact. And yeah, is it horror adjacent? Sure. But we watched Frankenstein.
Yeah, fuck. What a movie.
Del Toro's Frankenstein.
I said this a couple of weeks ago when we were first reacting to it, but it's probably a lot like Streets of Rage 4. You did, when I think about it, you get a group of people together who grew up with and loved and fantasized about and entered the medium of the thing that was created to one day be able to work on the thing that inspired you, the thing that made you love the thing, to make a Streets of Rage game that feels so modern and so exactly like a Streets of Rage game that came out before they were children. Mm-hmm. Is a beautiful thing. And Frankenstein felt exactly like that. Frankenstein felt like a movie made by a master filmmaker who was only just now felt like he was worthy of adapting maybe his favorite, but certainly one of the stories that made him want to be a filmmaker, made him want to tell stories.
Yeah.
Made him want every detail, every bit of art, every bit of dialogue, every bit of clothing, every special effect to feel, to tell the story as best it could be told. And what I said was, I'm not sure anyone will ever do it better. And I fucking stand by that. Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, in any other year might have been my movie of the year.
Yeah.
Without Sinners, this would go right to the top of all of those other great movies I saw in theaters. This Netflix movie that I watched at my very good friend's house with his 80-inch television, that might have been my movie experience of the year. And I'm a theater fucking purist, but like, fuck, that was so good.
Yeah, and that's what it is about Frankenstein. Every inch of that movie oozed love and care and everything that we love about Del Toro, but also, like most things, like Expedition 33, which is a game that loved and respected the games that came before it. There's so much of Expedition 33 is a love letter to the games that came before it. There's a really good, like a ton of YouTube videos about the books and games that Expedition 33 is based on. So is Frankenstein, in which we watch this movie of the monster, and we watch Del Toro, who is a masterclass of presenting the monster as victim on screen. And now we see the origin point of the thing that made him be the creator that he is now. And you weep for the monster, and you weep for the people who are hurt by the monster, and you watch this and go, I see why he became the creator that he did. Mm-hmm. And I watched that as somebody who loves to write horror myself and went, I need to go fucking write more because I'm inspired the way that he is inspired to film by watching this.
Yeah. It's an inspiring thing, man. I mean, you're talking about somebody who took, I mean, a Del Toro movie is a Del Toro movie, right? And you obviously have stuff like,
Do you want to fuck a monster?
do you want to fuck a monster in the shape of water? But also, we'll never get and God, I hope not anytime in the near future, like a good live action Evangelion movie. Like, that's just not in the cards for us, at least not in the way that I want it.
Right.
But the dude made Pacific Rim, one of the silliest fucking premises to one of the most silliest fucking stories ever made. It might as well be Shin Godzilla just bashing your action figures against each other. But my God, did he fucking love that movie and make it with care and gravitas and acting and love, and you feel it in every frame of that movie.
To interject here, to talk about my Spotify top lists. In my top 5 songs played this year, which is kind of consistent for me, the theme from Pacific Rim was on that. And the reason for that is that either when we're playing Marvel Rivals or when you and I are going to the gym, that is actually my pump-up song.
Oh, that's a good song.
The theme from Pacific Rim, like that is the song that, like, ever since Overwatch, like that was the top of my Reinhardt playlist.
I'll have to watch that again. Like, I have it on Blu-ray.
That is the fucking song that, like, gets me going. If I'm ready to, like, fuck some shit up in a game, that is the song.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely beautiful, beautifully made. The camera work, the editing, the special effects, everything about that movie is to make you feel like you are there, grounded in the experience. That's why the sequel landed so poorly, because none of that was there, because Del Toro wasn't there.
Never seen it, and I'm not acknowledging
Don't
its
ever
existence.
watch it. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist the same way. You know how there's only one fucking Suicide Squad movie? There's only one Pacific Rim movie ever.
Yep.
Ever. And every once in a while, you might fuck a monster or go to a beautifully appointed mansion in a movie in Crimson Peak, which we still have to watch.
I do need to watch that.
But they're all going to have vibrant colors.
They will all have impeccable fucking colors. But Frankenstein,
yeah.
In the words of Aldo Raines, if I were to speak for Del Toro watching that movie, I might say, I think I just made my masterpiece.
And I hope that he hasn't. Honestly.
Oh, yeah. No. I mean, there's more to come.
Yep.
He will certainly continue making films and continue, at the very least,
I want to put
volleying
an asterisk out there. If none of you saw Del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities on Netflix,
watch that.
Please do watch that.
Do watch that.
That is a horror anthology series. He only directs one episode of it, but it's him doing his own version of The Twilight Zone, and it is fucking brilliant.
Beautiful anthology horror stories, about an hour, and like never longer than that a piece.
Yep.
Names a director, pulls great directors. The episodes have good budgets and great actors.
Yeah.
What a series.
All right, that wraps up all of 2025 for us. There's definitely more we could have talked about, but those are a bunch of the highlights. I hope that you found some things in here that maybe you want to watch or maybe you want to play. Thank you from all of us here at Goodnight and Good Game. We're going to be taking a short break, but when we come back, we'll be diving into what we're looking forward to in 2026. For those of you on our Patreon, we're going to put up a couple episodes of our Tales from the Crypt episodes over the break, so look forward to that. Remember, it's only $1 to subscribe to our Patreon. And even if you can't subscribe, any kind of social media engagement, and I know this sounds so cheesy, but
but please do.
Like likes, comments, share our show with other people.
Yeah.
That would really, that's the thing that costs nothing. It would really mean the world to us because, like I said, we've been doing this for a long time and we have a very small audience. And I love this show enough that I do want to see it grow. And I can only do that with the help of everybody else out there. So I guess until next year, for Hector, this is James.
And for James, this is Hector.
And for you, this is me.
Everyone, good night.
And good game.